Here we are. We're going to go through how to make a Facebook cover photo in the unit for produce and prepare photo images assessment 2. On the classroom page, we have the assessment here. I've also got the assessment brief details open here, which has more details about what's required. And we've got the social media cheat sheet open in another page. These are all links from the classroom. Shows our different sizes. We're going to be making an image to fit this space on a Facebook page using Photoshop. And it will end up looking something like this. This is an example of the Ballina TAFE Facebook page. And we're going to try and put together something a bit like this. So it's an imaginary situation, a scenario where a client, TAFE, has come to us at Acme Digital Marketing and asked us to put together a cover image for a campaign as per the brief instructions here. And the idea is to take some photographs, some scan images, and the logo and the copy that's being asked for the campaign together in Photoshop and export it for Facebook. Here's the copy to be included. I've kept this outside of the assessment because it was subject to change. Are you the next viral YouTuber? Learn the tools and techniques required to produce digital media assets for TV, web, and social media. TAFE New South Wales Open Week, Ballina, November 2017. Okay, so the first thing I would do, step by step, is to set up a folder for this project. So our client would give us a job number, or our agency would develop a job number. Here we've got it. You can see it here. We can set up a folder, our files in it. I'm going to make something on the desktop. Well, actually, I've cheated. I already have. I've got this folder here. I'm going to rename it job number. And that way we can track that. Sometimes it's good to include a bit more information with the job number. I would say, TAFE campaign, or TAFE week. Sometimes it's good to give it a date or a year, month as well in the file name. Okay, and I've already put together some files in here. I've got an example, that image from the Facebook page, so we can compare. I've also downloaded from our classroom page, or actually I've downloaded from the TAFE New South Wales website as well, a compressed archive with their logos, and also some social media templates from the social media cheat sheet website. I've got my notes for this session. I've got a Photoshop image of the final, or file of the final project, or an example. I've got the copy that I've downloaded, or I've copied from the classroom page. So it's handy sometimes to grab all this stuff together. Oh, I haven't got anything in there. Let's go back to the classroom page. This is that copy that I wanted. Simply left click and drag to select, Control C to copy. I can put that into that file there and save that. So I've got that for later. What else have we got in here? This is my scanned image. I went outside, grabbed a piece of bar cup off the ground, put it on a scanner and scanned it. So that was some of the skills we learned earlier in the unit. It's how to use the scanner. And that's about it for the contents of that. Okay. So when you get to this point, once you've downloaded those resources, we'll just go back and show you where they live. So back on the classroom page under Unit 5, CUA-DIG 303, produce and prepare photo images. If you scroll down past all the lesson plans to the main or the first post in there, you'll see you've got TAFE brand guidelines, you've got an example of our course flyer. Here's the TAFE logos, and here's the social media templates, Photoshop PSD templates. There's a logo guide to refer to, and here's our social media cheat sheet as well that we can open up in a new window and refer to. That's this guy here. Okay, how do we get these down off the classroom? The easiest way usually is to right click and see if it'll save link as. It'll ask us where we want to put it. That's not the way to do it because it's going to save it as HTML, so we won't do that. Instead, we'll click on the link, follow it through in Classroom, and now we have a download available here, so we can go downloads. So we've already created our folder on the desktop. We can then simply go to the desktop, find the folder, and then save it there. I've already done that part of the process. It might take 5 minutes, half an hour, depending on the size of the files and your connection. You can see the social media PSD templates is significantly bigger. It's close to 3 megabytes, so that will take a bit longer. So I've pre-done that step to make it a little bit quicker for our demonstration. Okay, so how to extract those files so we can use them. The easiest way is to right-click, go to the 7-zip menu, and go extract files or extract here. So I'm going to go extract here, and it's going to create a new folder. We can watch it there. It's extracting those files. And we can look in that folder, and now we can see we've got 3 logos, a black on white, a color on white, and then a white with a transparent background. They're all PNG files, so they have transparent included, which is good. Okay, same for the social media templates. We'll go back and right click, go 7-zip, extract here, I find is most useful. It keeps them in a nice tidy folder. So I can go open up and have a look in here. Now we've included, or they have included, the social media cheat sheet guys have included templates for these main social media channels. One we're going to look at is Facebook. So we can go in here. We've got 5 different ones for different purposes that relate to that cheat sheet. We'll just flick back and have a look at that. So we've got a template for profile image, cover photo, shared images, and I think shared link and highlight image. We'll go back and have a look. Most of them, the profile background and profile template, I think, are the ones we're actually looking for. The naming is a bit, excuse me, a bit different. So let's open one of those and have a look. So that will launch into my Photoshop. I already had Photoshop up and running, so it was quite quick when I double clicked on that. Okay, so it gives you a bit of information there about what it's about. Okay, and from there, we need to get some images. So I'm going to go back up to my job. And I just realized I haven't actually got the photo that I want to use in that folder. So I'm going to go to another folder, my images, my pictures, and grab it. I'm going to use this guy. So hopefully you've taken some photos that you're going to use for your project. I'm just going to angle that so I can see. and drag it over into my campaign folder, my work folder. Okay, there I can. So notice I'm getting my photos, I'm getting my resources all together in this folder before I start anything else. The benefit of that is if I move this folder to a USB stick or another hard drive and I want to continue doing work, Photoshop's going to know where the source files are and it won't break the project. Okay, back in here, I'm going to show you an example that I did earlier, so you have an idea of what we're trying to aim for. So this is the example. Open this up. Okay, so this is combining these images, the text, and the logos all together to provide the message in a colorful way. So we start with the template, and then we layer up, put together the elements, and this is what we end up with. All right, well, let's start. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my desktop folder, and I'm going to open the bits that I want. So I know I need bark. So I'll open that, and you'll see it opens up as an extra tab next to the template. And I'm going to open my other photo there. So I'll bring these up first so I don't get too lost. Keep organized. Now, from our example, this is the image that's going to be the background. I'm going to use this as a background. So I want to get this one in fairly soon. I don't need the whole image. I'm going to focus on the blue disk thing. So a little bit of preparation to do first is I'm going to crop the image down to the part that I want to use. I've got it set to maintain a ratio. I don't really need it to maintain a ratio, but let's go for widescreen look. And let me try putting it there. So I'm only going to use part of the image. Okay, now I've cropped that. Now, next step, I'm going to use Control A to select all, and then the copy key. And that'll allow me to bring that across. So it's currently, that image is currently in the clipboard. I'll deselect, I'll go back to the Move tool so I don't have the crop tool selected. And I'll go Control V to paste. Okay, so that tells me that it's very big. So we need to scale that now. So we need to go Edit, Transform, Scale. Now what we're seeing is the top left-hand corner of the image is lined up with the top left-hand corner of our template. So we'll do a little tricky scaling here. We can scale by percent and do some other things, or one of the easy ways is just to do it from the corner. Now it's important that when you do scale this, that you do it from the corner, but also when you're doing that, you hold the Shift key down so that the ratio, the height and width stays the same. See, it doesn't matter if I move the cursor, the pointer left or right, the image stays pretty consistent. And it'll be more apparent when we get closer to the final size. So I'm dragging it down to the right, and then I'll let go of the Shift key and pull the image back into the center, and then hold the Shift key, grab the corner and pull it down to scale it down, and let go of the Shift key and grab the image and reposition it like that. Okay, so it's getting there. I just want to make use of that sort of radial central bit of the blue and get that little dot right in the corner. Now I've got a bit of space here on the left, so you can see it's not straightforward. It can be a little bit tricky. Just remember to hold that shift key when you're doing that. Now I'll give you an example. If I don't hold the shift key and I click and drag to the right, it's just going to squish my image up. And when you do that, it's really hard to undo it. And the same if I did that from the top, or if I did it from the corner without holding the shift key, it wouldn't constrain those proportions and we get squished or stretched. You can also use the arrow keys to reposition it in fine increments, 1 pixel increments, fine tune it. Sometimes that's easier than using the mouse. Now, once you're happy with the placement, you can press the Enter key and that should lock those changes into place. So now I've got my template, and over here in the layers, you can see I've got my first image in. Now, it's always good to name your layers. Why is it not allowing me to rename my layer? Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is grab my other image. So remember some of the exercises we did before, we did some pulling images out from the background to be able to use them and manipulate them. So with this one, I'm going to use my magic wand tool. I like the magic wand tool. And we should, with that white background, we should fairly easily be able to just click on the white background. And it's going to select it all the way around the piece of bark that I want. So now I've got the white background selected. I actually want the bark selected. So to change the selection, I'll go to the select menu and choose inverse, or I could do Shift Control I. So now I've got the bark selected and not the white background. I can go Control C to copy, come back to our template and go Control V. And there I've got my bark in on a new layer, vertically stacked. I'm going to move him over to the left. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, something we haven't done is to save. So we need to do a save as. It's probably better to do that earlier on in the piece. I left it a bit late. Thankfully, I've got that file already named there, so I can just select it and then change the name. And we've got another copy there. Okay, so once we've got those elements, we can move on to the next ones. What do we need that's important now? We need a logo and we need the copy. They're the missing elements. And as part of the logo, we need to be aware of the logo usage. So here's the TAFE New South Wales logo guide. Whichever organisation, company you'd be working for, they'll have their branding guidelines. They'll have some information on how to use their gear, and that helps make it consistent. So here's all the information about how to use the TAFE logo and how not to use the TAFE logo. So you can download that and have a look and see how they do that. Now this sort of information is usually kept on a private intranet kind of thing, but it's not really secret. So we don't need to worry too much about that. I'd recommend using either the black logo or the white on the background. I like this one, so that's what we'll do. Okay, if we flip back to Photoshop, and let's go open. Where's that logo file? In our PNG. Okay, so I select that. It opens up in a new window. You'll see it's quite large. We'll probably just take that as is. I'll go Control A to copy and Control V to paste. Yes, it's quite big. So we'll need to scale that. So we go up to Edit, down to Transform and Scale. Now, using the same technique so I don't stretch it or squish it, I'm going to hold the Shift key and drag from that top left-hand corner down to the right. Let go, and then I'm going to click on it and drag it back into view. And let's do that again. So it doesn't have to be too big, but we need to just make sure it's nicely seated down in that corner. Voila. See if I can edit those layer names again. It's weird, it's like it's locked. Ah, there we go. Just go in and give those some names so we know which layers we're working on later. These other layers underneath, they were the template layers. So we can leave them there for now. That was the, well, if we turn off our top layers, we can see what's underneath. So that's the text, the blue background. That's what these 4 layers are here. We can turn them off now. We know what we're doing. Okay. So we've got our logo. Now we need some copy. So let's go back to a folder, find that copy text file that I created earlier. We're going to get the heading. Now that I think about it, okay, to put text on screen, just select the top layer over there in the layers, click the text tool or the horizontal type tool. I'm going to start it from here. So I click on the screen. Now I've got that text in the memory in the clipboard. I can just go Control V to paste it. That's interesting. It was left aligned. So you can see up here I've got tools for affecting text. It was right aligned. I'm going to make it left aligned. Or if I want, I can make it right aligned and then go to the Move tool, grab it and drag it across to where I want it. Okay, and I can do similar with the other text. Notice over here it automatically names that layer, same as the text. All right, so let's go back to our text file. Select the central line of copy. Select the text tool again. Click roughly where I want it to start. Paste. Or in this case, because it's right aligned, it's putting it over there. Okay, we're going to have to do a bit of formatting with that in a minute. I think while I'm bringing the copy in, I might as well just keep bringing that in. Okay, now that's nowhere near how we want it to finish at the end, but we've got it in there for now. Now, a good thing to check is to find out about fonts. and sizes and the fonts that they use. I don't think it's in that document. I'm going to have to go back to here. Here we go, the comms marketing logo guide. So if you look at the information, hang on, this is the logo guide. It wasn't, that's what I'm looking at. I don't want the logo guide, I want the other one. The brand guidelines. And here it says, there should be something here, it says fonts. Typography, fonts or typography. 39. You see they've got lots of information, how to use icons, color palette, what colors, rules, different rules. Just make sure that everything looks consistent across a brand. So we get down to, well, there's the logo rules again. There's the colors and some of the fonts, rules and how you can use them. Where it's important is that you need to have good contrast to be able to read the text. Here's our fonts. Now I don't know that we have Korolev font installed, so we'll find something else to supplement it. Normally if you're working for a client, you'll be given this, or your company will purchase a license for the particular font. I'm working on a project. Anyway, it's good to show you where you would find that information. If you don't provide the right font to the client, there's a good chance that they will send it back to you and say, hey, can you do that again? Let's see if we can find the code again. Korolev. So in Photoshop, you can go up to the text tool when you've got your text selected. You can click on the drop down and you can start typing the name of the font to see if it's there, but no, we're not there. And we might use something else instead. Do I have any suggestions? Sometimes you get a substitute font. Some more font uses there. Match and kerosene. Okay, Calibri. Let's use Calibri. So it looks like Calibri is probably our substitute. Okay, you can change the weight. Change the size. Okay, I'll use the text tool and select the next letter, copy. Calibri. I'll change the size. Let's see if we can format this. I'm just going to put a return here in front of TV. See, it pops it down to the next line. And another one. Yeah. So it might take a little tweaking to get the copy just right. I'm going to try and condense that up a bit using some of the formatting tools. I thought I was. go. Move that panel up there a bit. Oops. Get the move tool. Okay, so that's sort of getting towards what we want. So we can move things around, align them up, use the guides, fix it up. Now, we need some contrast. I like the white text on that background, but it's not easy to read. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create some transparent or opaque backgrounds to go behind that. Now, if we go back to my other example, you can see here we've created some different backgrounds, and you can see we can manipulate the text a bit more. Okay. I can't see all my. So let's do a bit more adjustment to the size of the copy. Now, in my other one, I made this copy a bit smaller. I just need to fiddle around a bit to get that just right. Oops. It's tricky to get the everything just how you want it. Okay. Also on our other version, we had this copy was actually black. So we can change the color of our text using the Eyedropper tool. And I'm going to drop the size down a bit more for that one. And similar for this, we'll drop the text size right down a little bit more. 6 point. Okay, it's starting to get there. All right, something like that. Let's create our opacity, our opaque backgrounds. Okay, so this rectangle I'm going to put down underneath that heading. See the way everything stacks up in the layers? So Are You the Next Viral YouTuber is now above the gray. If I move the gray box above it, below. Okay, make sure I name it. Okay, now I'm going to pull the opacity down on it so we can see through to the background, but still get some contrast. I think I might change the color, make it a bit darker. Okay, that looks a bit better. Let's change the alignment. If we wanted to, once we've got the text in the background there aligned up how we want to keep it that way, we could lock the two layers together so that wherever we move them on the screen, they would stay together. All right, let's draw another box behind this guy. Actually, we're going to make this one a lighter color. And then drop its opacity back. So there we can see. Give it a name. Again, if we put it above, changes that text, put it below. You see it? All right, one more down here because we're not getting very good contrast there. You can do different shapes, but well here. And I'm going to go with a darker color for this one again. And then drop back the opacity. They just help give you a bit of contrast. So it makes the copy stand out against a complex background. Okay, and there's one more element we can do. One of the designs they're using. And they've got it sort of in the style of how they're doing theirs. Let's have a look. So in this example, you can see that little square. They've done a little bit different around there, cut out around there. We could do that if we wanted to. We could put some more things on that. But that's basically how you can go about doing that. Now let me just check. I gotta name these guys. If I come back to this in a couple of days, I'll know what to do. All right, don't forget to save. Control S. Now the final step, we've got our components. So you could fiddle around with that and manipulate. It's all right, I can edit it out later. Do you want to ask something? Yeah. I'm not sure what you're talking about. What you mean? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yep. Well, now would be the time to fix things like that. So I select the bark layer. I can move it Yeah, you're right. I was getting in there. All right. Save. Okay, and where are we up to? Exporting. Exporting is the next thing to do. We can go quick export as PNG, or we can go save for web legacy. At the moment, our file is around 7-8 megabytes, which isn't too big, but it's pretty big for downloading over the internet or web page or Facebook. So we need to export as a compatible image, so JPEG, PNG, something the like. I'm going to choose PNG, and we can see the file size is going to be much smaller. It's 67K as opposed to 7-8 megabytes. We can tweak the quality to save file size or improve the image quality. 60 looks to be about right there. Sometimes you might go up or down. Usually a high quality or very high quality are the better options. You wouldn't want to go much bigger than 100, 200 kilobytes. That will be a bit slow. So I'll just bring it back down to about 72. Yep, under 100, that's good. Go save. It's going to ask us where we want to save it. So I'll go back to a folder on the desktop. This is the one. And it automatically has the name of the file that I've already called it there. So we can go save. It's going to save it as a JPEG version of that file. And there it is there. Ready to go. So there's probably a few improvements. We could go back and look at the guides. There'd be a few tweaks you can make. The contrast around the TAFE. It might be better to put let's find that gray rectangle too. You might want to make that larger or something and cover the background there to give it more contrast. Anyway, that's some ideas. Good luck.